Good evening and welcome to the second match of the group stages of the 2025 CAF Women's Champions League in Group A. Tonight's match will be played at the Suez Canal Stadium in Ismaila, a venue which has become quite familiar for supporters of continental competitions in 2025, having hosted the semi-final of the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. Tonight's match will see FC Masar, representing Egypt, the host nation of this tournament, taking on runners-up of last year's edition's cup, ASFAR. A special treat on match day 1 of Group A, as last edition's finalists and 2022 winners ASFAR Rabat of Morocco are clashing yet again with FC Masar of Egypt. These two sides faced off in last year's semi-final, a knockout that ended in the most dramatic of fashions. Ended 2-1, with both the equalizer for FC Masar and the winner for ASFAR scored in second half stoppage time. Dead ball situations were the keys in that match. So the Suez Canal Stadium is the stage for an exciting classic that we'll surely see in years to come more of, as both of these sides are looking to establish themselves firmly on the continental stage. More recently, these two sides met in Tunisia in September this year in the opening match of the UNAF qualifiers. Once again, ASFAR Rabat defeated FC Masar 3-1 at the Stade Mustafa Benjanet in Tunisia. As finalists, and now with an expanded squad, ASFAR, led by their determined head coach Mohamed Amin Alioua, are looking to be straightforward in their approach to this tournament. They're looking to win every single match. The current Moroccan League champions seem destined to go far in this tournament, but FC Masar will prove to be a formidable opponent. The Egyptian side collected the bronze medal in the previous edition of the Women's Champions League and are riding on the tail of a successful 2024-2025 season. They will be invigorated by a youthful side and an ambitious head coach in Abdelrahem Yed. So the club from Cairo will not roll out the red carpet for their opponents, and they may have extra motivation to avenge their past 2 defeats. And now, a much anticipated arrival of the 22 players to the tune of the CAF anthem. South African referee Akona Zenit Makalima collecting the ball, followed by the two sides. ASFAR Rabat on your left and FC Masar, the hosts, representing Egypt, on your right, wearing their darker kits. What an exciting encounter to open match day 1. It's a match that could have been in the knockout phases, arrived later in the tournament. Before the match began, captain of ASFAR, Najat Badri, said that it's a shame that we're seeing this. It's a bit of a pity that we're seeing this match so early on in the tournament, but it's a real treat for spectators, kicking off this tournament on such a high note, match at a very high level. And what's at stake are 3 points in this group, which already was kicked off earlier this afternoon in a match between FC 15 de Agosto of Equatorial Guinea against USFAS Mali. And it was USFAS that ended up winning 2-1. But now our attention turns to Ismaila, the Suez Canal Stadium, where two powerhouses of North African football are going to be clashing for the next 90 minutes. They've already played each other in last year's edition. It was a classic, 2-1, ending in favor of the Moroccan side, who punched their ticket to the final, losing out only 1-0 to the eventual victors and champions, the tout-puissant MSMB. So FC Masar have a chance at redemption. And also write a new page in their history. They're a side that are very difficult to beat, may I add. FC Masar. They have yet to lose a match by more than 1 goal, so every match is close. But they've already made history by qualifying for the 2nd time in a row. They joined Wadi Degla on 2 appearances in the finals of the African Champions League. And of course, winning this tournament leads to fantastic outcomes. An opportunity to play in the FIFA Club Women's World Cup, the first ever edition, which will be held in January, well, the end of January and early February of 2026. We see the starting 11. It's a 3-4-3 formation. Match official Icona Makalima, be assisted by Nancy Kasitu, Maneo Tau, and Aline Umutoni. Both captains, Najat Badri of ASFAR and Amira Mohammed of FC Masar. The VAR team that'll be observing closely, led by Leticia Viana, as well as Enes Gumbo. So the suspense is building as we approach kickoff. To get things started here, the starting 11 for ASFAR, put by Mohamed Amin Alioua. It's a 4-1-4-1 formation. Badri the captain, Sudi, Bukami, Nami, Aitel Haj, and Said up top. A lot of mutual respect for these two sides going into this game. In terms of style and identity, FC Masar, mostly a faster paced side. Look to transition quickly. There's their manager, Abdelrahman Ayed, the architect of what's been an incredible 2024-2025 season, where they picked up their 2nd consecutive domestic championship. And here's the manager, Mohamed Amin Alioua, entering his 5th season as head coach of the Moroccan powerhouses ASFAR. Did say that losing in the final of the 2024 edition of this tournament was one of his most painful memories since taking over. And now it's time for perhaps the Moroccan Giants to turn a new leaf, but it all starts now. Referee Makalima blows her whistle, and we are now off the opening match day 1 encounter of Group A, the 2025 Women's Champions League, hosted in Egypt. And it's FC Masar returning possession immediately with the long clearance. Camera pans on Khadija Ermichi. Here she is, ball at her feet, the seasoned goalkeeper. Mishits her clearance and turns over possession already to Yasmin Abdelaziz. Strong duel between the two, showcasing the intensity and the challenges, and Abdelaziz picks up the free kick. Full determination from Polmish Maouna. Excessive engagement in her challenge, shoving her opponent Abdelaziz off the ball. So Mayra Ali, who's already nominated, who's having a great season, was already nominated for Egyptian Player of the Month in October for her fine performances in the domestic league. Can she spark the first chance of this matchday 1 fixture? Could be so important. The ball is floated in. Good defending from Benzina, making sure that danger was extinguished with that one. Following up is ASFAR. Lovely display of skill by Nami. Nami once, Nami twice. She waits for support. The one-touch cross, expertly controlled by the captain Amira Mohamed. But then a little bit too sloppy from Naboulime. Pass into open space, and this time Paul-Mich Maouna defending on the opposite end of the pitch. So very high tempo in these opening 2 minutes. Great intensity being shown. Of course, there's a lot of mutual respect for these two teams. FC Masar may have that little extra bit of motivation to avenge their last 2 defeats. The first being at the most recent one being in the UNAF qualification tournament, where ASFAR were undefeated, picked up 9 points out of a possible 9 and finished in first place. Masar, although finishing second, were automatically qualified to represent, as they represented their host, or the host nation Egypt. Their qualification was simply through winning the domestic league. Not the most crowded stadium turnout for this opening match, but the supporters in the pitch are being more than heard. Strong support from the crowd. Good display of good display of skill. And they've earned a corner, ASFAR. When these two sides met in the semi-final of the 2024 edition, ASFAR opened the scoring thanks to a corner kick. Important to note that not starting on the pitch for ASFAR is the top goal scorer of last year's edition, Doha Al-Madani. She may feature later on, depending on circumstances. ASFAR working the ball smoothly from left to right. Confident on the ball is the fullback, Ehoudani. Still in possession, long ball in. Could it be met by the... It was toe poked, but well positioned was Habiba Sabri, preventing the opening goal from being scored in the opening 4 minutes. Good movement, the run was in between the defenders. She was almost forgotten, a little bit of naive marking. And completely forgotten by Amira Mohamed. It's right behind her back, and fortunately she could count on her goalkeeper Habiba Sabri to make the save there. But clever run by Sana Masoudi. The 25-year-old who had a memorable Women's Africa Cup of Nations, scoring in the final for Morocco against Nigeria this year. It was in the summertime. A match that was a roller coaster of emotions that ended cruelly for the Moroccans. Here she is again, Masoudi. Speculative shot. Bounces out of bounds and doesn't cause as much danger as her previous run. But showcasing her intentions and willingness to make an impact and leave her mark in this opening match. As her manager, Mohamed Amin Alioua, looks on, he could be quite content with what he's seen in the first half, in the first 5 minutes, excuse me. It's taken short, it's Amira Mohamed. Takes up the task of heaving the ball upfield. Intense pressing from Naboulime. But ASFAR are comfortable building from the back as well. It's a patient side, rich with so much experience. The club, which are so decorated when so many titles are used to shining at the brightest stages. And they've now worked their way onto the right wing, deep in enemy territory, and forcing Amia Mohamed to concede a corner, this time on the left-hand side. Amia Mohamed, who just 22 years of age, is showcasing leadership abilities. Was interviewed for this match, emphasized how important it was for her club to focus and build on the positive performance of last year's edition, where they finished in 3rd place, as well as to be the first ever African represented at the FIFA Club World Cup, which will be held in London early next year. The long lofted cross sails over everybody, but Najat Badri tried to keep it alive, the play, but it's good defending from the Egyptians. Hasnat Mbamba, the Tanzanian forward, attempting to dribble with the ball in her feet, but goes out of bounds. Here's the Masoudi. She's brought down and wins a free kick in about 40 yards away from the goal. Doing a good job of getting her body in front of the ball and provoking perhaps a naive defensive challenge from Yasmin Abdelaziz. So after starting brightly, FC Masar starting to have to deal with the wave after wave of offensive play from the Moroccan champions. They've introduced themselves into the box. Surely it's going to go to the back of the net. Oh, it's missed. Sana Masoudi. She's had such an eventful opening 9 minutes to this match, and this chance may have been the clearest of them all, but not an easy position. It all starts with Najat Badri, followed up by Gnami, and finally Masoudi. Could she have done better there? Let's look at the replay. Her body position was good, just never wrapped her left boot around it properly. Perhaps was aiming for the top corner, but she didn't really have to. The goal is wide open. And it's an alarm bell for FC Masar, as ASFAR are slowly churning and churning towards the goal. Habiba Sabri's net still yet to shiver. She's on the ground, requested medical attention, perhaps received a bit of a knock in that most recent play. It was high intensity, that's for certain. She was awarded the top goalkeeper award of the 2023-2024 edition. The CAF Women's Champions League. Dangerous play from Viot Nicolaus. ASFAR quick with the short passing. Over determination in that tackle. Douani. Zounemir Douani, who joined Rabat in 2024, former player for Am Layoun. It's a little bit overhit, can't be controlled by Mbamba. And again, familiar scenes as it's been in these opening 10 minutes. Possession recovered by ASFAR. This time the ball is wayward, lacking precision, and offers a little bit of breathing room for FC Masar, perhaps to reset an attack and try to dent the armor of the very experienced and very composed ASFAR. As a reminder, ASFAR, this is their 5th participation in the Women's Champions League finals, the most ever. They also won this tournament in 2022. One-touch passing, which creates an opening. It's Yasmin Abdelaziz. Ali's cross is blocked, and it's dealt with expertly by Far. The touch is a little bit heavy from Habiba Biktash. The youngest player on the pitch, just 18 years of age. That's also one of the stories. This FC Masar side are very young. They have a lot of poise. What they lack in experience, they make up for in creativity and determination. Good running from Nami, beating the offside trap, but even better recovery defensively speaking by Amira Mohammed. ASFAR, it's too easy for the Moroccans, recovering the ball in the midfield before FC Masar could produce an attack. They've yet to really have to deal with a true threat on the goal of their goalkeeper, Hadija Ermishi. Good control of the ball, and it gets away. Sudi, it's a layoff to the captain, Badri. Can we see a shot on target? Zips wide. The technique was there, the accuracy a little bit lacking by Zineb Erudani. Solid activity. And to conclude that play with a shot, even if it missed the target, is positive for the Moroccan champions and last year's Continental Cup finalists. After their defeat, it was described by Mohamed Amin Alioua, the manager, as one of his worst memories. The Moroccan side has increased the depth of their lineup, of their side. They recruited strongly, expanded the squad, strengthened the attack. To quote Alioua, he did say that in defeat you learn. We realized we needed more depth. So that's what they've done. They've added key players to this team. Here's Badri, a stalwart of Moroccan football. Long ball incoming. Searching for Zineb Redouani. It's a very complex tactical setup put in play by ASFAR. Not exactly defined positions, lots of movement. An example of it is seeing Zineb Redouani both on the right and the left side. She has a lot of freedom to express herself in the offensive sequences, that is. Here she is on the ball now. Zineb Redouani searching for, seemed if it was Yorgnami. Dribbling on the ball, Msoudi. Confidence oozing out from the number 18 of Farabat. It works itself to Redouani. The first delivery is blocked. Can she find her captain, Badri? Strong challenge by Yasmin Abdelaziz. And that's absolutely what the doctor ordered for FC Masar. They needed a strong challenge to cut the build-up. But it's only a band-aid as ASFAR are back on the case. Hungry, searching for the opening. Ball goes out of bounds. Drifted a little bit too wide, and the assistant referee was perfectly positioned to raise her flag. It was Hanan Ait Elhaj. playing her third spell at the club. Oh, it's a wayward pass, and that's not going to help the Egyptians. Oh, this could though. Yasmin Abdelaziz controls it well. The pass was in a difficult position. Mahira Ali, right on her heels, was strong side Hajar. Calmly spread towards the right by Najat Badri. As you can see, there's a lot of lines, well, a lot of space between the lines of FC Masri. It's the two forward players that are tasked with the pressing, Mahira Ali and Hala Abdel Samad. While Yasmin Abdelaziz is doing a fine job and battling it out in the midfield and having to distribute quickly, but the real issue is passes have to be precise if they are to stir havoc amongst the defense of Mohamed Amin Al-Yua's women. Abdul Rahman Ayed, the head coach of Masar, very young manager. Also picked up an award in October, voted manager of the month in Egypt. It's a little bit scrappy here on the wing, but a little bit of technique doesn't hurt anybody. Najat Badri does have that in her locker. Quick double contact to escape a tight position. Defends well, thanks to Badri. ASFAR on the offensive. Fishing for a foul was Msoudi, but didn't get it. So it's been a fascinating tactical battle between these North African sides in the opening 19 minutes. Still 0-0. The best chances have undoubtedly fallen to ASFAR. Msoudi receiving a stern talking to by South African referee Kona Zenit Makalima. Makalima, who also officiated last year's Africa Cup of Nations, well, CAF Women's Champions League. Msoudi works well with Aidel Haj. Good combination. Can she find her again on the overlapping run? But she'll be met by the captain, Amira Mohamed. Snuffed out the danger from open play. And it'll be a corner kick awarded to the 2022 champions of the Champions League. You can see the determination on the face of Najat Badri. Has to stay composed and finding a teammate. She does. Oh, it's met once. Msoudi goes to ground. No penalty, says Makalima. And play carries on, but Msoudi still on the ground. Clearly in pain. Perhaps FC Masar will send the ball out of bounds. No, it's actually Makalima who takes the responsibility of stopping play to check on the number 18 of ASFAR, who's been involved in all the highlights so far. So let's see this again. Were there calls for a penalty appropriate? It's very light. It's very light. Of course, number 5, Violet Nicolaus, doesn't make contact with the ball, but not exactly sure her challenge was enough to force Makalima to blow her whistle for a penalty, and I don't believe it's going to be viewed by video assistant referee either. Not much controversy in that call. Appears to be the right one. And this stoppage allows for both managers to tactically adjust, perhaps offer some words of encouragement. It's very important for Abdelrahman Ayed to do so. Yeah, Nicolaus a little bit late in her challenge, but she controlled her defensive challenge and didn't overcommit. There was no malicious intent either. Fortunately, Msoudi is back on her feet and will return to play. Much to the pleasure of all the supporters of football. She's had a fantastic opening to this match. She was just a little bit more clinical on a couple of her opportunities. ASFAR could be leading by 1 or 2 goals, at the very least. We haven't seen a lot of Hazat Umbamba. Oh, it's Makalima going to the video assistant referee. She has been called by her team. Well, that would be quite surprising. The contact seemed light. Of course, the challenge, she makes no contact with the ball, Nicolaus. That is true, but... And she does block her path. But it does seem a little bit light. At this point, it really is up to the interpretation of Makalima. Tough call, because it's true. A bit repetitive to say, but Nicolaus completely misses the ball and extended her leg, blocked the passage from Msoudi, but I almost feel like she pulls her leg back for really overcommitting the challenge. But let's see, we'll have our answer to this question. Penalty given. Penalty given. And just like last year's confrontation between these two sides in the semi-final, it was a dead ball situation that unlocks something. From a corner kick that wasn't defended exactly in the best way possible, FC Masar are now having to face a spot kick. And it's the goalkeeper of the 2023-2024 edition, Habiba Sabri, face to face. With ASFAR's Aitelaj. Aitelaj, who recently arrived at the club. The right back, who's played in Spain, returning to ASFAR for glory. Can she get the first goal of the tournament and keep her composure at the highest stage of continental football? It's Aitelaj, and it goes wide. She misses her shot. Habiba Sabri dove the right way, but didn't have to make the save, and bailed out by perhaps a loss of nerves. Hanan Aitelaj unable to find the target. You can see the look at the face on the face of Mohamed Amin Alioua. Oh, she opted for too much precision, losing the mind games with Habiba Sabri, wanting to do too well, and instead the ball drifted wide of the post. Little bit of surprise on the look of coach Mohamed Amin Alioua, and celebration on the bench of FC Masar. Not to say that it's justice, because I believe it was a light foul, but there was contact, depending on the interpretation, penalty or not. It was given, but it was missed, and FC Masar provided a lifeline. Msoudi. Said Hajar finding center back Noaila Benzina. Badri's pass is inch perfect into the run of Zinebra Redouani. Msoudi, Redouani, Badri. Is she offside, Msoudi? Apparently not. Does not matter. She drove out of bounds with the ball. Of course, under pressure by number 26 of FC Masar, Julia Bolopo-Etopa of Equatorial Guinea. So not rewarded for all their troubles, ASFAR of Rabat. By all means, they've created the most opportunities. They've been the most explosive going forward. FC Masar taking a little bit too much time with this goal kick. It's going to be sent towards the right, but there to intercept is Badri. Well dispatched. Will we see a shot? The effort, palmed out of bounds by Habiba Sabri. She's been excellent in these opening 28 minutes of the 2024-2025 edition of the Women's Champions League. She's recently called up to represent the Egypt national team, and this time showcasing why she's a goalkeeper of top caliber. Not exactly certain that ball was on target, but she took no risks. They have to defend better on this corner kick than they did last. It's Mahira Ali. Concedes a second. Second corner to be taken by Erudani. She has to apply herself as she did earlier, which led to the penalty. Oh, this time it's well taken again. Sails over everyone. Sent back into the mix. It's a bit chaotic. Semaz are struggling. I believe there was a handball. And in the end, crisis averted for the hosts. Just seems like Said Hajar, their tall frame, was in a position to perhaps unleash a shot, but it was taken away from her by Nuaila Benzina. No controversy with that handball call. Long clearance from Amira Mohammed. Headed onwards by Abdelaziz. And it's a throw-in deep in their opponent's territory. They'll take advantage of this situation to position themselves in a high block. Perhaps try to win the ball back high up on the pitch. I wouldn't be surprised to see ASFAR deal with this situation well. They do not. So Mazar, they have to make the most of this situation. They haven't had the ball in this side of the side of the pitch in quite a while. The very young side, led by Abdelrahman Ayed. It's a long throw in by Ghonim. Mahira Ali back to goal. Intense duel with Badri. Good one-touch passing play to transition from defensive to being in possession. It's another instance where you can see all the experience of this highly decorated Moroccan club. Good pressing, preventing the long pass once, but Amira Mohammed cleans up. Oh, it's well touched by Abdel Samed. She can have a look on goal. Attempted the cross, and it, without much whip, without much power on it. slowly made its way into the gloves of Eremici. FC Masar starting to grow into this match at the half hour. They have to hold on to possession for longer periods of play nonetheless, and they don't do so. Badri has the wherewithal to find Sudi in a good position. And Sudi, confident going to duel, losing out, but can't fault her for giving her best. She's helped her side win a throw-in. The opposition half. Sudi, turn of the body. Great play to find El Haj. El Haj, the cross, acrobatically dealt with by Abdelaziz. Najat Badri was lingering, perhaps was in an offside position. Zineb Erudani. She'll play it short. Will she get it back? Very well defended, I have to say. Abdelaziz. Oh, this time helped by Umbamba. It's gritty defending from the side from Cairo. Struggling to transition from defensive positions to really settling in on the offensive. Lovely side tackle. Defending sometimes is an art form. Displayed beside Hajar. Benzina. Benzina. And that pass without much direction. It's a cheap giveaway. Farabat. Perhaps an error in coordination amongst the military side. This has all the makings of a match day one encounter. Surely takes time for teams to settle into the occasion under these bright lights in Ismaila, the Suez Canal Stadium. The importance of a victory. It's no surprise to anyone familiar with this tournament. It comes with glory, prestige. It's only the 5th ever edition, and at stake is a handsome prize money as well. The winner will be awarded with $600,000 US, and the runner-up with $400,000. The title of champions of the African women's football. Sudi was searching for, not sure who really, I believe it was her captain Najat Badri who wandered into the box, but pass lacked direction. Clever defending from Nuaida Benzina. Defender who has goal-scoring capacity. The UNAF qualification tournaments, scored against Afak Relizan on match day 2. So throw in now for FC Masar. And no rush to take and put ball back into play. Zakiba Biktash. Called by the referee to take a few steps back and retake the throw-in, but at an appropriate position. Very authoritative. Kona Zenit Makalima, South African referee, has already had to make difficult decisions in this match day 1 encounter. This one not so difficult. Excessive use of force by Najat Badri in her attempt to recover possession. Sure, her foot eventually did get on the ball, but trucked through her opponent. Sent in by Ali. Cleared. Masar having to start from scratch, more or less, this time on the left-hand side. That's not a great throw-in. Msoudi completely surrounded, but not dispossessed. Showcases the quality of her footwork. Doesn't seem to fear those situations when she's crowded by 2-3 opponents. If anything, she seems to relish them, but that was a poor giveaway by Hajar, and now Masar, can they win at least a set piece or a corner kick? Instead, they concede a throw-in. A little bit of frustration in the body language of Hazat Umbamba, ranked number 7 for FC Masar. She hasn't been able to leave her stamp on this match in the way that she would like. Difficult pass for Zineb Redouani. Strong challenge between two players there. In the end, it's Yorand Gnami commits a foul. He too starting to showcase some frustration in his body language. Mohamed Amin Arioua, not content with some refereeing decisions which haven't gone his way. As a reminder, ASFAR were awarded a penalty, which was earlier in this match, which was missed by Hanan Aidelaj. Mahira Ali, can she provide a quality cross? It is. Struggling to be cleared out. Finally, Badri gets a foot to it. But fortune has it that Hala Abdel Samad keeps possession. The Egyptians will have another chance. They have to play the throw-ins better than they have. She has to apply herself here. Ghonim. The opportunities to threaten have been few and far between for the host side. Oh, it's another giveaway. But this one too is cheaply returned. It's an eye for an eye. It seemed very obvious that Hala Abdel Samed was looking for a corner kick there, and ushered by 2 Moroccan defenders is dispossessed. Dangerous play. Abdelaziz scuffs her chance. And that's the best opportunity that they've had in this first half. Abdelaziz chested the ball down, but couldn't generate any power on her effort. The clearance was scuffed by Hajar. And then wanted to send in a one-time volley. Oh, Mbamba. Now the ball gets away from her. Chaos within the box of Hadja Eremici. ASFAR almost shooting themselves in the foot, not once, but twice. They have to be careful playing around their own box now. From a psychological point of view for FC Masar, this is very promising. Sure, they were on the back foot and were defending in their own half for most of the first half, but now they've shown that they've learned that they can threaten for real. The scuffed cross, but it almost found its way to Abdelaziz. It's been unfamiliar to see ASFAR under the cosh. But the Egyptian champions, well, the back-to-back Egyptian champions are looking dangerous, sniffing for that all-important opening goal in this match day 1 encounter. There was never any lack of belief in this side, but seeing that they are able to have clean looks on goal will surely change the halftime team talk for Abdelrahman Ayed and his players. That was audacious from Biktash. And a little bit of a rushed effort to score there. Perhaps could have been a little bit more patient after recovering possession, Eroudani. Unconventional control and layoff by Ali. Strong duel right in front of referee Makalima, but she sees no reason to blow her whistle. And that's a simple interception for Benzina. Eroudani lying in the center circle. Felt the full force of, I believe it was Fiona Nabulime in that midfield duel. Nabulime dropping her shoulder in front of Eroudani, who then is doing her very best to get to the ball first, but a bit of a 50-50 challenge. See it again. Hajar dispossessed not once but twice. Mbamba doesn't make them pay for their mistakes. Surely there'll be quite a little bit of stoppage time added on. There was quite a long stoppage in time after that challenge, which was deemed an offense by Violette Nicolaus on Sanem Soudi. When the penalty was given, there was video assistant referee check. It's been an entertaining first half. We've seen a lot of variations in play for both sides. ASFAR, who perhaps seemed to gain control of possession, control of where they wanted the ball to be for most of the first half, but then seemed to have let their concentration dip a little bit. And once that happened, Masar took control, and it seems like that's exactly what's happening again. Mbamba gets away, skips over Hajar, and she's won an interesting free kick. Makalima takes out the yellow card and books Said Hajar, the first yellow card of this match. Oh, she was defending, running back towards her goal. It's always difficult to do so, and if you're going to go to ground, the timing has to be perfect. Showcased a beautiful slide tackle earlier on in this half. This one, not so much. And it's the Egyptians that are finishing this first half the most determined, the most focused. And they've won themselves a free kick. Dead ball situations in the semi-final of the 2024 African Cup of Nations, African Champions League was the decider. All three goals scored in that encounter between Masar and ASFAR were from dead ball situations. One corner kick, one penalty, one free kick. It's Mahira Ali, the veteran player, the designated set piece taker, measuring her steps away from the ball, measuring the distance to the goal. Can she get it up and over the wall and under the crossbar? That's the true challenge from distance. Mahira Ali, it's over the wall, but into the safe hands of Khadija Ermishi, who doesn't bend the iron wall of this ASFAR side. You can count on a solid goalkeeper. One of the most decorated and successful football players in all of African women's football, the goalkeeper of ASFAR. And that'll also provide a boost to her teammates. Sudi, the outside of her boot, tried a cute pass, but it didn't pan out. Strong duel there, and Fiona Nabulime, Ugandan midfielder. Strong challenge in the midfield this time. Too much. Said Hajar. Is it to Benzina? Back to Hajar. Will search for the run of her captain, who accompanies the ball alongside Bolopo Etopo out of bounds. Najat Badri likes to wander behind enemy lines. The number 10. ASFAR does fulfill her defensive duties, of course, as a priority, but she sees a run to be made, doesn't hesitate. A lot of energy spent by the number 10. Driven clearance, doesn't have too much distance on it, but fortunately for the Egyptians, it's helped on, and that's an interesting pass. But on the foot race is Ait El Haj, getting the best of Abdel Samad. Assisted by Siam Bukami. And that's the end of the first half. 0-0 between FC Masar and ASFAR. An incident involving a foul on Sanam Masoudi resulted in a penalty awarded, which wasn't scored by Hanan Ait El Haj. ASFAR perhaps largely controlled the opening 2/3 of the first half, but then were starting to be a little bit careless in their own half, which allowed for FC Masar to grow in confidence and create their own chances. Weren't able to put anything on target until they picked up a free kick, which was saved promptly by Ermici. It's all square with everything to play for in the second half. Strong battle between these two North African sides who had already met in September. A match that ended 3-1 in favor for ASFAR, but they're finding themselves in a much different encounter, a different context. FC Masar have grown in confidence, have grown in maturity. Of course, it's still a very young side, and perhaps do not have the same continental experience as ASFAR, who have previously won this edition. Several champions of the African Cup, of the African Champions League, are on this roster, but nonetheless, they've held toe-to-toe and they've held their ground in this tightly contested fixture. The opening half kicked off with FC Masar on the back foot. ASFAR were flowing the ball well from left to right and using different variations of play. Just the second minute, Habiba Sabri, the young goalkeeper of FC Masar, was asked questions, but she answered. Again, creating havoc, this time from the long ball yet again. Sanam Sudi with the best chance so far. In the opening 10 minutes, Sanam Sudi was involved in so many of these plays. Well positioned. Here she is again, the number 18, laying it off to Najat Badri, finding it Udani, whose driven shot, drifting wide. FC Masar struggling to deal with the offensive pressure and movement. And after a corner kick with video assistant referee Akona Zenit Makalima was called to review the play and decided on awarding a penalty for the 2022 champions. Hanan Ait El Haj missed the target with her penalty. Attempted to find that left post, but instead zipped wide. And then the only shot on target for the Egyptians came via free kick through Mahira Ali, safely into the gloves of Hajira Erenmichi. That was all in the opening half. 0-0 after 45 minutes of play. But an intense encounter between these two North African powerhouses who have met each other already 3 times in the last year. Thank you for returning for the second half of the opening match day of the 2024-2025 CAF Women's Champions League. This is Group A. The earlier encounter was between USFAS of Bamako against the FC 15 de Agosto, ending 2-1 in favor for Bamako, so they're current leaders of the group. Here, we are now in the Suez Canal Stadium in Ismaila, Egypt, where it's still 0-0 after the opening half. Some of the most clear-cut opportunities fell into the feet of number 18, Sanam Soudi, who was stirring so much danger in the box of FC Masar as well as around it. It was through her nifty attacking that she was able to earn a penalty, which unfortunately for ASFAR was missed by Hanan Aidelaj. Provided a real lifeline for for FC Masar. In the meantime, FC Masar grew in confidence towards the end of the first half and didn't create the most amount of danger, but nonetheless, the young side showed bravery as well as resilience, standing toe-to-toe with one of the most decorated clubs in African football, the women's level that is. ASFAR, as a reminder, the only side to have qualified to all 5 editions of this African Women's Champions League. And we're back off the switch of the sides. It's ASFAR of Morocco attacking from left to right, wearing their white kits, while FC Masar, the host nation Egypt, their black kits attacking from right to left. Just to give an idea of different levels of experience, 10 players of the 11 featuring, chosen by Abdelrahman Ayed to start this match, born in the 2000s. Amongst them, their captain Amira Mohammed. Had to be careful there, she was watchful. ASFAR starting with killer intentions the second half. Shad Ghanim has to improve on her throw-ins. It's returned again. Bit of a negative trend in the first half. Shad Ghanim was ineffective in her throw-ins and is so again. Good recovery from Abdel Samed as they shift away from the right, spreading the play from the left all the way to the right. Habiba Biktash. Driven pass. Biktash doesn't lock herself up. Can count on number 11, Abdelaziz, as a solution. Good movement from Abdelaziz, who, for good measure, adds a push-up as she gets back onto the off the ground. Very strong defending and making sure that Redouani doesn't have an easy path to dispossessing her. Long ball in. Gonim, can she deliver a good ball? No, she does not. But on the case was Fiona Nabulime. Does well there. Ugandan. But a little bit too much on that pass for Abdelaziz. Never really was going to get there. Excellent timing in the cutting off that pass. Msoudi. And then the dose pass is perfect. The cross isn't. And then Ait El Haj. It's comfortably saved by Habiba Sabri. Young goalkeeper who would surely love to collect a consecutive goalkeeper of the tournament award. So far, she's holding one of the powerhouses of the African continent alongside her teammates to scoreless affair. Msoudi again rising into the air, intercepting the pass right before her opponents does. She really has a great sense of timing, Sana Msoudi. The goal scorer in the final of the Africa Cup of Nations this summer against Nigeria. A final that was eventually won by Nigeria, nonetheless. Msoudi. Cunning dribbling from the Moroccan. The clearance without much reflection, but away from danger. ASFAR having to rebuild. Long searching ball. Nyami trying to make something out of nothing. High intensity in these opening 5 minutes of the second half, but not exactly resulting in the highest quality of plays being created. Both sides tactically very prepared for this encounter. They know each other quite well. They faced off in the opening encounter of the UNAF qualifiers for this tournament. Going to ground was Eroudani. It's a clean challenge. Eroudani gives it back to her captain, Badri. Badri, Eroudani. Cross is blocked by a header of Bolopo Etopa. Msoudi easily gets away from her marker. Lofted cross. Miscommunication there. Zeynep Redouani was at the receiving end of that cross. Her run was well timed. Seemed as if she was expecting for Nyami to understand her clip. Oh, lovely step over. Gets rid of Captain Mohammed. Not exactly sure why Zeynep Redouani was upset with Nyami there. Not sure what she could have done better. Here's Msoudi, the real poison. Shoots with her left foot. Ends into the gloves of Habiba Sabri. But Sana Msoudi, hungry for goals, hungry to cause havoc. Showcase her brilliance. Outstanding ball from Benzina. But the defending is up to scratch. Ali doing everything she can to keep ball in play, but sets it up perfectly for ASFAR to recover. It's a valiant effort so far from FC Masar. This is only their second appearance in the Women's Champions League. Did so last year, where they were eliminated by ASFAR in the semifinals. That was a dramatic encounter. Thought they had equalized and were going to extra time, the 95th minute, but 96, ASFAR broke their hearts with the goal scored by Doha Al-Madani. Straight from a free kick. Doha Al-Madani, who's on the bench for now. Challenge there between Aiz El-Haj and Shahid Ghanam. One of the issues for FC Masar in the first half was they were unable to really showcase their game, offensively speaking, in ASFAR's half. They're pinned into their own 50 meters. And it's through perhaps passes like these that they can threaten. Good dribbling. Umbamba! Oh, it goes just wide! Umbamba! She perhaps had the opener at the tip of her left boot. Strong run from Hazat Umbamba. Let's see this again. Beats her defender to the ball first, then shimmies away, and then generates a fair amount of power. There was just perhaps a little bit too much curl on the effort. It was always going to be curling away from Eremici, who extended herself all the way as much as she could to her right, but upon looking at the replay, perhaps it wasn't as close as expected. But fantastic dribbling from Hazat Umbamba, as well as a display of her speed and pace. Exploded down the middle. Just like that, FC Masar can sting the giant that is ASFAR. Paul Mishmaouna, also a new signing for ASFAR. Congolese forward who has represented her country several times as their number 9. Fitting nicely into this new starting 11 of Mohamed Amin Alioua. Hajj's clearance blocked with the hands. Bamba. No fooling referee Makalima. Free kick will have to be taken where the offense was committed. The infringement. And was Mahira Ali the culprit of using her arm to block the long pass. Fierce defending from Bolopo Etopa. Ali feeding Abdelaziz into space. But on to cut things out was Msoudi. ASFAR back in possession. Can they find a solution? Where can the creative spark come from? Could it be Nami dancing around Shahid Ghanam, but Nami was in an offside position. Call came late. Nami, let's see, was it the run? Yeah, her run was a little bit, almost, it was a little early. So it's still 0-0. This cagey affair between these two North African powerhouses who... Oh, it's good dribbling from Ali. Skips away once, skips away twice. The ball has quality. Just a little bit late to the run this time, actually, was Hala Abdel Samad. Not enough numbers in the box to look for when Mahira Ali was shimming around. Msoudi, an appropriate use of her arms to defend. That was spotted by Makalima. She seemed surprised, but proper call. Good defending and anticipation by Habiba Biktash. Msoudi on Mahira Ali. Poetry in motion when she gets on her feet and dribbles like that. Not once, but twice got the better of Siamboukami. And it was a well-worked cross, just in an area where there wasn't any players, unfortunately. One-touch pass, straight to Nikolaos. Mahira Ali, again, can she get the better of her opponent? Attempted to. Solid defending by Ait El Hadaj. That'll do a lot of good for ASFAR. The club from Rabat. Not exactly finding the same flow as they did in the first half. Handball by Amira Mohammed in her defensive intervention. Clear handball there. Arm was extended in an unnatural position. Made contact with the ball, of course. As a reminder, this is just match day 1. All of this tournament will be played in Egypt between the Right to Dream Stadium, Cairo, as well as the Suez Canal Stadium in Ismaila. Masar will be gracing the pitch again, this time with the Right to Dream Stadium on November 11th. ASFAR searching to perhaps score the first goal. Excessive use of force there. Shad Ghonim provokes the free kick in her own box. Ziran Nami guilty of the foul. And Amir Mohammed, the captain, sends the ball upfield, searching for Bamba. Nami this time comfortably laying it back off to El Haj. A little bit of a slip, but they maintain possession. Msoudi digging in deep into her toolkit to try to unlock the situation for her team, but nothing seems to be working just yet. Perhaps it will be the trickery of Sana Msoudi to allow for her side to break the armor of what's looking like a very solid defensive FC Masar. The nick of time, Amira Mohammed passes before Msoudi could intercept. Badri's headed on. Redwani complaining, but doesn't get the call. So there's space on the right for the Egyptian side, and all alone in the box is Abdel Samad. Oh, but she's muscled off. But here comes Mbamba. That's perhaps a little bit late. They recovered very well, ASFAR, just when it seemed as if Abdelaziz had burst into the open space and had a simple pass to play to Abdel Samad. Great recovery. And then Mbamba, it always is going to be difficult in that position. Picking up the ball, back to goal initially, tried to spin and face her teammates, but ushered off the ball by Aitalaj. They make off with the corner kick nonetheless, which isn't so bad. There perhaps was more to get from it. Here comes the in-swinging corner. So the second post, caught without any difficulty by Haja Ermirci. And perhaps a little hasty in her distribution. But Msoudi wins her duel and is brought down illicitly. Surely that'll be a yellow card for Abdelaziz. Msoudi was about to get on her wheels and sprint alongside that byline. Getting the best. She really is a player who is so well-rounded in all the offensive sectors. Msoudi, timing, anticipation, touch, control, technique. A real X factor for the club from Rabat, excuse me. Mohamed Amin Alua changing his perspective by sitting on the cooler instead of on the bench. Some coaches just want to be closer to the game. Depends on the context as well. This is a tight affair. One of the utmost importance. 3 points, which would allow for the winning side. Well, 3 points are up for grabs. The winning side would be equal on points with Westfas Bamako. And inch themselves closer to reaching the knockout stages of this tournament, which will commence on 18th of November. The final, which will be played the 22nd. Cheap giveaway. Very cagey affair under the applause of Abdelrahman Ayed, the young manager of this side. He's put in a very compact defensive setup. They weathered the storms in the first half, FC Masar, but in the second, they made some adjustments which have prevented ASFAR from developing their patterns of play, which they so enjoyed, such as that long ball, which was finding success. The little tweaks, which are making for this a much more balanced affair. FC Masar looking a lot more comfortable, but have to be wary. ASFAR able to transition so quickly from defense to attack, and through the brilliance of Msoudi, it's a pure example of such. Msoudi, confident, brought down in the box. Video assistant referee will review it, but Zenit Makalima believes she's blown the whistle in the opposite favor. She believes that she's seen play acting, the referee. Was there a foul committed by Fiona Nabulime? Let's look at it again. This is probably the better angle. Oh, it's very light. It's a very light challenge from Nabulime. No stoic reaction from Alua. Looks like Msoudi, for all her troubles, trying to buy a free kick, a penalty, is going to pick up a yellow card. She probably won't be very happy with the decision of the referee. Seemed to have been certain of the way she went to ground. That's the second yellow card of the match, the second for ASFAR. It's a bit of a shame because Sana Msoudi done so well, winning the ball back, eliminating a couple of players. Was confident going forward, and then in the end, perhaps did a little bit too much on her own. It's maybe one thing that she could perhaps improve upon is her notion of playing with her teammates, combining. It's one thing to have the confidence and the ability to eliminate players via the dribble, but sometimes it's just a little bit too complicated to do everything on your own. Play resumes. Play breaks, the pass breaks the lines. A second pass to break the lines. Vertical, very fast vertical play from FC Masar. And it's that vertical style play that has allowed for them to become such a successful side on the continental as well as the domestic scene. With 2 passes, they break some lines, find players in the intervals. Oh, the cross is perfect. Last-ditch defending from Julia Bolopo-Etopa. End-to-end stuff here. ASFAR did not dwell on perhaps conceding a chance, almost conceding a chance. Quickly moved on to attacking and almost found the opener. Oh, they all seems as if they got in the way of each other there. Hajar and Msoudi. Msoudi involved in so many of these opportunities today. And the Suez Canal Stadium yet to witness a goal in Ismaila, but there have been wasteful opportunities. Oh, she dove and missed. She slipped, it seems. But with a lot more momentum with Said Hajar. Makalima giving a warning to FC Masar, perhaps for having to speed up their goal kicks. FC Masar, as you can see, the logo on the back of their jerseys are part of the Right to Dream group. It's a bit of an organization that began in Ghana, has expanded to Europe, Africa, the United States, as well as Egypt. It's a global community where they focus on developing youth players all around the world. Great anticipation there from Nabulime. And on the chase is Mbamba. She gets it to it. The chipped effort. Oh, and it's squandered. But a great save from Eremici, who put her body on the line. Both players down on the ground, and play will have to be stopped. Mbamba, the main threat for FC Masar, believed until the very end, and almost stunned ASFAR if it weren't for the heroic goalkeeping of Hajar Michi. And they do it to themselves, ASFAR. The pass didn't have enough power on it, and then what a save by Ermici. Hang that up in a museum, off her line, not committing too early. Perfect timing. Can't really say what Hazat Mbamba could have done better there, the number 7 for FC Masar. She did her ultimate best. Just up to the task was Ermici, the hero of Rabat. Ermici, who's been at the club since 2012, hungry for more titles. The stoppage allows again for the managers to make some adjustments and tactical discussions. At times it seems as if Mohamed Amin Aliwa, the manager of ASFAR, has taken out the clipboard with the pawns. Hana Zenit Makalima, South African referee of this encounter, gesturing that she has stopped her watch. And the difference will be added on after the 90th minute. Both goalkeepers are some of the best in the continent. As I said earlier, Habiba Sabri picked up the best goalkeeper of the tournament last year. She too has a calmness and ability to cut opponents' attacks. In her first season with the club, she picked up 21 clean sheets in 28 matches. As for Hedja Eremici, 38 years of age, she was awarded the best goalkeeper of the CAF Women's Champions League in 2022. She was the main goalkeeper for Morocco in 2023 as well. And 2 substitutions to be made. It's going to be Anissa Lamari, French-born Moroccan international, coming on, as well as Doha Al-Madani. Exciting moment in this match. Doha Al-Madani, the top goal scorer of last year's edition. Surely supporters of ASFAR were waiting for this moment. It was an interesting choice from Mohamed Amin Aliwa to not start Doha Al-Madani, knowing she has so many goals in her. Opted for Yolande Gnami instead. So she has about 20 minutes to make an impact and turn this game on its heels. Precise long ball from Nabulime. And in the end, she's rewarded for her efforts. Abdelaziz picks up the corner kick. Shrewd bit of play from Yasmin Abdelaziz, the UNAF qualifications top goal scorer in the 3 games of the qualification. She scored 4 times. Here showcasing her hunger to help her side pick up a set piece. Will we see something from the training ground? Mahira Ali. Could be a target. Can she find a target in the box? Mahira Ali's delivery. It's right towards the goalkeeper, Eremici, who jumped a little bit. Didn't have to overextend herself to capture the ball. Sumaila Benzina. Oh, arriving like a hawk with a target was Umbamba. Covered so much ground in such little time, Hazat Umbamba. She has a peak speed that is so impressive. The number 7 from Tanzania. And after a frustrating opening 30 minutes where we didn't see a lot of her, she's been one of the main threats and been difficult to deal with for the Moroccan side. Bit of a messy clearance, but the long ball was a little bit searching. Full commitment in the challenge. Msoudi goes for goal. It's batted wide. And Biktash helps the ball out of bounds for a throw-in. Habiba Sabri asked upon to make a save, and she does. Didn't make it look easy nonetheless. And now Sabri can fall on the ball, and she's going to ask for some medical help. Seems as if she's dealing with a knock. It's cramp, it seems. Surely. See this again, it's Sana Msoudi, speculative attempt. Save which perhaps Sabri would expect could have caught. Instead she pushed it wide. The stoic reaction from Abdelrahman Ayed, manager of FC Masar, the very young manager, here in discussion with substitute Alice Ojebe. Forward who can expect to see grace the pitch shortly. Will it be a Hala Abdel Samed who will come off, or perhaps Hasnath Bamba, who's put in such a big shift? No nonsense approach. Makona Zenit Makalima checking in on the condition of Habiba Sabri. She can continue on. So after a little bit of medical attention, she's fit to carry on. Which is good for all. Never want to see a player go off injured in a match. Especially not the best goalkeeper of the 2023-2024 edition of this tournament. Long throw in. Thwarted and intercepted by Habiba Bektash. ASFAR working from left to right, something that we haven't seen too much in this second half. Zainissa Lamari, the substitute, combining with El Madani. Oh, the one-time effort from El Madani scuffed the attempt. ASFAR pushing and pushing, increasing their intensity in their attacks as the clock drifts towards the 80th minute. Of course, there's going to be a lot of added time, given the several injury stoppages. Yasmin Abdelaziz with many touches of the ball. Maybe she'll be requiring some medical assistance based on her reaction to that foul. Abdelaziz with very close control. She's to be substituted off anyway, so the timing is fit. Alice Ojebe, who's going to be appearing for the first time. The CAF Women's Champions League. So the first substitution for Abdelrahman Ayed's women comes at the 80th minute. 10 minutes of regulation time left. Alice Ojebe, the forward from Nigeria, one of the top goal scorers of the Egyptian League. Has had an experience already in Europe. She played for Real Betis, Red Star Belgrade. Now finding herself leading the line in the most prestigious competition in African women's football. Oh, it's a bit of a risky pass from Amira Mohammed. Shad Ghonim doing everything she could to avoid returning possession to the Moroccans, but unsuccessful. But nonetheless, the long balls have just not been working. Oh, there's a space for number 9, Abdel Samed. Nikolaos didn't lift her head and raise her eye. If not Hala Abdel Samad, she could have been found. Her run was into a big area of space. There are some defensive frailties amongst ASFAR, that's for sure. They just have not been exploited by FC Masar. Oh, dangerous tackle. Taking down 2 players. And Najat Badri, the captain, who we've seen a lot less in the second half, picks up an important foul and a free kick. Have to focus on the delivery here. Slightly wide. Not too far from the box. Najat Badri indicating to her teammates. She's pointing out to where she's going to place the ball. Has to apply herself. It's at the penalty spot. Well defended upon the first time. Not cleared away yet. And it was Noela Benzina who had the final attempt, but couldn't get through traffic uninterrupted. It's Bolopo Etopo. Stays on the ground. The center back. Second half, which has been marred by injury breaks. Just have to wonder how much added time will be signaled by the fourth official once we reach the 90th minute. In a match that hasn't even been particularly violent or intensely vicious. Just seems that it's been challenges that have left players on the ground requesting medical assistance nonetheless. But we're seeing perhaps the beginning of a rivalry. FC Masar, which are a bit newer to the scene, were renamed FC Masar after their creation, which was under the name of FC Tutankhamun. They made a big splash when they arrived on the international scene. They defeated Mamelodi Sundowns in the group stages last season in their opening game, shocking the world. And for now, this is quite a good result against one of the favorites to perhaps arrive in the final, even win the entire competition in ASFAR. It's Mahira Ali who's down to ground, and another substitution to be made. This time for the Moroccans, it's the captain Badri who's going to be coming off for Sofia Buftini. So Nadia Badri, whose influence diminished as the match progressed, still had a decent showing in the first half. She makes way for Buftini. Badri, whose last involvement in the match is that strong challenge on Mahira Ali. She's stepped on her calf. Oh, a little bit of a mess with the clearance there. And Eliso Jebe finally can get involved, the number 10 substitute. Can she deliver a good ball in? Seemed like it was promising before it was blocked by the back of a defender of ASFAR. Just seems that when ASFAR scuff their own clearances, they're inviting pressure, they're inviting for the Egyptians to try to create. They're able to figure that out and fix it. They'll be a very difficult side to score against, but if not, they can invite opponents to perhaps create scoring chances like now. Valiant defending from ASFAR. The last touch seems to have come off a player in white. It's the correct decision. Still 0-0. Nothing to separate these two sides. The first half, there was a penalty given and missed by Hanat Ait Araj. Play on your cameras there. And there'll be a corner kick in favor of the hosts. Will we see a goal here in Ismaila, the Suez Canal Stadium? Is it ready to explode for joy as the host side, as the hosts? Can they give their home supporters something to cheer for? A 0-0 draw is fine, but a goal is even better, much better. Cleared once by Saida Hajar, but it's only temporary respite. The next corner kick is imminent. Oh, there's another ball on the pitch. It'll have to be dealt with. Here Ali taking her time, not rushing anything. Just seems as if ASFAR are the side least content with the 0-0. Which makes sense. The last two times these two sides have met ended in victories for ASFAR. This will be the first draw. And an improvement, at least from a result standpoint, for the Right to Dream club. Strong discussions between Makalima and Haja Eremici. Just wasted a lot of time. The corner's played short. Ali's cross, back post, punched away by Eremici. She wasn't under much pressure, but seemed to have lost her footing. Instead of taking any risks, opted for the safe choice, punching the ball out of bounds. Yeah, never seemed too sure of what she was going to do with the ball. The trajectory of the ball was a bit tricky as well. It was bending at the last moment with a fair amount of curl. It's a driven cross. Kept alive. Ojebe. Oh, it's a good shot with the left foot. Alice Ojebe. Seems as if the main objective was to put the ball on target. Oh, it's misread by the defense, and Dohal Madani was afforded a chance to perhaps control the ball, but doesn't take full advantage herself. Foul on the hosts, and ASFAR unable to transition quickly from defense to attack like they did so well in the first half. Bit of a disappointing second half performance from ASFAR compared to what they showcased in the opening 45 minutes. Sanem Soudi, can she salvage 3 points? Can she be the architect? Seems as if it's going to be spread wide to Al Haj. Precipitated on the cross. Good timing from Amira Mohammed, who's been excellent this evening. Really sensational in her defensive work. The number 8 for FC Masar. While the pass lacks a little bit of strength to it, Soudi got there in the nick of time, and as she knows how to do so well, provokes a foul. It's been a difficult day for Sanem Soudi. While she was able to have several opportunities, not one was converted into a goal. High activity from the number 18. Here she's found. Oh, it's a good header. Will she be rewarded? No! Oh, it's so cruel for Sanem Soudi. What else does she need to do to put the ball into the back of the net? Wow. Habiba Sabri perhaps gave her a second bite of the apple by not dealing with that ball well enough. But the initial header did so well to win. Gets in between the two center backs and then follows up brilliantly, but unable to find the target. Oh, she doesn't even make contact with the first header. And like a fox in the box, was on the second ball with such speed. Sabri was completely beaten. And it's a mishit. It's an absolute mishit from that distance. You'd expect for Masoudi to do better. That's such a shame. ASFAR could have escaped with 3 points. Lisa Lamari seems to have picked up a yellow card. The number 23 here again, she's going to duel. Wins her duel. Former PSG player. They've worked it well to the right. And Rudani now shifts play all the way to the left. Taking her time to control the ball is Al Madani going for goal. Makes a little bit of a mess of it there, Habiba Sabri. Ensured the ball didn't go into the back of the net, but had to count on the reactiveness of Bolopo Etopa. Oh, it's a thrilling stoppage time. So much action thanks to ASFAR's determination to get this opener. FC Masar having to defend with everything they have. It's all women on deck here. The substitute sent it back in. Oh, it's not gonna go into the back of the net. Msoudi. Oh, it was an optical illusion for many at the stadium. For an instant, everybody held their breath. Msoudi's header dances beyond the post. And now they're on the offensive here. Umbamba, one-on-one with Redouani, but met by Pulmish Mauma, who commits a foul. And now it seems as if FC Masar are going to finish the match with the last chance. Yellow card to Noela Benzina, who seems to be complaining about the refereeing decision. Umbamba, was she brought down to Licily? It does seem like she was tripped from the back of her ankle by Pulmish Mauna. Upon looking at the replay, the assistant referee made the right decision. But we may not even have time to look at the replay of Sana Msoudi's missed header. What a moment that was. 2 substitutions now for the Egyptian side. Abdel Samad coming off for Farah Al-Mahdi. And we'll also see Noor Abdel Wahed. So double substitution. We've now passed the 5 minutes of added time. Surely won't have too much to play. But what a scenario it would be if either of these substitutes were to get the final touch for the ball to cross the line. Mahir Ali. Can she deliver the quality cross? Doesn't do so this time. She'll have a second chance. But in front of her is a few defenders of ASFAR, and they concede a corner kick. They haven't been that successful from the dead ball situations, FC Masar. But this would be the final kick of the game, you'd imagine. Well into stoppage time, well past the minimum. And what an exciting stoppage time it's been. Could it be capped off with an unforgettable last-second goal? Mahir Ali, could she be the architect? It's to the second post. It flies over everyone. Makalima, whistle in her mouth. Blows for the final whistle, and that is all. After 90 minutes plus 6 of added time in the second half, it is all over. It's all square between these North African sides. ASFAR, through Sana Msoudi, created the most clear-cut opportunities, but were unable to put the ball beyond the line and into the back of the net. FC Masar, in their second ever Women's Champions League Finals appearance, hold the former champions to a draw in a valiant effort from both sides, who really gave it their all, but they were evenly matched. Habiba Sabri made some key saves to keep FC Masar from conceding a goal, while ASFAR just had to be a little bit more clinical, or much more clinical, if they were to pick up the 3 points today. The first half was definitely more of a display in favor for ASFAR. The second, a little bit more contested, courtesy to some tactical adjustments by Abdelrahman Ayed. Number 7, Hazat Umbamba, even had a chance to open the scoring for the Egyptian side. But here at Ismaila, at the Suez Canal Stadium, it ends in 0-0. And after match day 1, neither of these sides collect the 3 points. And are on equal footing. Earlier this afternoon, it was Ousfas Bamako who defeated the 15 de Agosto, so they'll be in first place. And Habiba Sabri collects the Women of the Match award, much deserved. Her saves were key and clinical, especially in the face of Sanem Soudi.
The question is more about how excited are you about winning this trophy for the first match?
ده بيديني دوافع ان انا يعني كل ماتش ابقى احسن واشتغل على نفسي اكتر وان شاء الله انا مبسوطه ان انا قدرت احافظ الماتش دوت على الكلين شيت وان شاء الله اللي جاي احسن والحمد لله.
How are you going to celebrate? Yes.
You could see how much it meant for Habiba Sabri, the 19-year-old goalkeeper, to collect the Women of the Match award. The 0-0 definitely feels like more of a victory for the Egyptian side compared to the Moroccans, who, as former champions, as last year's finalists, are expected, well, put the expectations on themselves to win each and every match. But nonetheless, it didn't go their way. The Moroccans couldn't pass the impregnable defense of FC Masar. So 0-0 at the Suez Canal Authority Stadium after match day 1.